Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be talking about the new palette from Tati Beauty, the Textured Neutrals palette. I'm sure you guys have already heard so much about, but a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a video, so I wanted to go ahead and get this up for you guys and try it out on camera for you. We're going to do a look, this look I'm wearing, and just go over my thoughts. So if that interests you, then just keep on watching. I was so excited when I saw that Tati was coming out with makeup. I went over this in my purchase or pass video from last week, but I love Tati. I trust her opinion 100% on things, and she's been around for so long, and I just really love her channel and that she still does like good old classic makeup reviews. I feel like she hasn't changed. She doesn't do stuff just for views like a lot of people these days. So I really like her. So of course I wanted to support her in buying her palette. And this one's actually a neutral palette, which you guys know I love. It's like a glam neutral palette. So let me show you guys what it looks like. Here is the packaging. It's like that almost rubberized material. Very simple, and it says Tati Beauty Volume 1 on here. It does not say the palette name though, which I thought was interesting. Just Volume 1. And then you have your shades and then a giant mirror, which I do appreciate the giant mirror because I always use my palettes when I'm getting ready. I want to do better and actually like sit at my desk and use a mirror there, but I just always end up using my palette mirrors. As you can see, these are really pretty neutrals, and what's really cool about this palette is that it has different textures. That's why it's called a textured neutral. So it's kind of lined up in rows. So from this way down, this is the matte row on the very bottom. We have sequin shadows, the second row, which is kind of like a matte shadow, but it has like sprinkles of glitter in them. The metallic row, which when I tested these out, these just felt like really buttery soft, very metallic, beautiful shimmers. And then the very top row is the glitters. So they have the, I call it like glitter gel shadow formula. I've noticed the glitter shadows have been really popular lately. ColourPop's been doing them a lot. Too Faced did it, Tarte did it, so it's been very trendy. I did want to mention this palette is sold out at the moment, but you can pre-order it. And looking at her website, it says it will be restocking and you'll receive guaranteed shipping by December 15th. So it looks like it might get to you before Christmas if you guys are wanting to get this as a Christmas gift for somebody. And it retails for $48, but I feel like, let me look at my receipt because I feel like I ended up paying quite a bit with the shipping costs. Let me look. The shipping was $5.95 and then $3 in taxes, so I paid $57.31 total, which I hate paying shipping. Is anyone else like that? Like, I will add more stuff to my cart just to not pay shipping, which is kind of ridiculous, but this way you just couldn't get around it. You have to pay the shipping costs. So I just think this palette is so Tati. She is all about the glitz and glamour, but not crazy colors, so it didn't really surprise me that she did a more neutrals palette, and this would work for so many people. I saw a lot of people are like, oh, that's like so boring, whatever, but I'm like, this is what most people wear. Like, your everyday person, in my opinion, doesn't wear a ton of color, and this is her. Like, she doesn't wear a lot of color either, in my opinion, so I thought this was perfect. And you guys know me, I love neutrals, and I love like glam neutral like this, like sparkle, shimmer, but neutral colors is my thing, so I knew I was going to have to have this in my life. So I like that she did all the different textures. I think that's fun that she has them kind of lined up by the mattes and the shimmers and the glitters and all that. And then she also goes up this way as color stories as well. So this is the Memory, which is kind of like a black, silver, smoky. Ritual is like browns. Story, I think, is orange. And then we have the Soothe, which is very just like light browns. And then Aura, which is kind of like a cream tone, and then we have Poet, which is like the pinky tones. Yeah, I think it's set up very beautifully. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys swatches of everything. I want to go ahead and show you guys how I got this look, and then at the end I'll go over my final thoughts. Alright guys, so first shade we are going in with this palette is the light cream matte color all over the lid. And then, as always, I'm going to start with a light brown crease shade, so I'm using the light brown matte shade in the palette and just placing that into the crease. By the way, I'm doing this voiceover style because I thought I had my mic on and I didn't, so that's why. Usually I wouldn't do this. Next I'm going into the dark brown matte in the palette. This is also going into the crease just to build up that color a little bit. And just doing lots of blending. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix this dark brown with this black to kind of create a really dark brown, even though it mostly took the black, so I should have just done that. But I'm just blending that into the outer corner. It did look a little bit patchy at first, but it takes a little bit of blending just to get that color really smooth and flawless, so I just added a little bit more browns back in to make sure that it wasn't looking patchy at all. Then I'm going to take this bronze in the metallic section to try out all over the lid. I didn't use any Fix Plus and it still had great shimmer. And then we're going to use the glitter, so I'm using once again that bronze glitter I call, and I'm just really lightly tapping that onto the eyelid to make sure it is spread out evenly because we do not want any fallout here. And then I'm going to smoke some on my lower lash line, so I just used both of these matte shades. I took the light brown first and then I went in with a darker brown just to make it really that glam smoky eye effect. Alright guys, what did you think of the look? I love it. This is definitely something I would wear for like maybe a photo shoot or just like glam makeup. This is going to be so fun for like holiday parties and stuff like that with the glitters. I just love it. I love when I can just like throw on a glitter real quick and it just takes up your eyeshadow up a whole notch to the next level and it looks amazing. So I will say when using the palette, these colors are very pigmented. The mattes are incredibly pigmented, so you do have to be careful. I myself ended up putting a little bit too much on at first, and then it can get hard to blend if you have too much. So start very small and build up because these are crazy pigmented. I will say also I didn't have much fallout with the mattes. I had a little bit of fallout with the glitter, so I don't know. We'll have to see how it like holds up, but yeah, I did have a little bit of fallout, but it's not nearly as bad as some of the other glitter shadows I've tried when it just gets like all over my face. The glitter was actually really easy to just sweep away and then it looked fine. Like sometimes with other glitters it like sticks, even when I use powder and try to get it off, it just like sticks to my face and then I have glitter all over. But I feel like this one stays in place for the most part. It's one of the better glitter pressed shadows that I've tried. The metallic shades were gorgeous as well, and then the sequin ones, some of those they don't have too much shimmer in them, so you could totally use them as like your crease color, your outer corner if you want. They pretty much act like a matte in my opinion. You don't really notice the glitter except for like in these two. I feel like it would definitely show up since those have a little bit more sparkle, but like I don't know. I used these three in the middle, and those just look like normal matte shades when I was blending them out. Maybe if you use them all over the lid, then maybe they would show the glitter a little bit more. I did want to say this palette does kind of remind me of the Too Faced Pretty Rich and also the Tarte Winter Wonder Glam palette. That was one I bought for the holidays, and it definitely has similar tones for sure. But I can say that I'm definitely going to be decluttering both of those eyeshadow palettes because this definitely outperforms them. With the Tarte one, I got a really pretty look out of it, but the formula was very chalky and powdery and dusty, and it definitely was not as pigmented as these are. So for that one, I'm going to declutter. And then the Pretty Rich, I'm also going to declutter because the tones are just too similar and I don't need both. So if you guys are wanting to try kind of that pressed glitter formula, I think this is a really great one to try. And for that reason, I do think it is worth the $45 since I paid so much for that Tarte one. I think it was $58, even though I got a couple extra things in it. But seeing how my look came out with that one and then this one, there was a pretty big difference. So yeah, I do think this one is worth the money for sure. I'm pretty impressed with it and I can't wait to try it a bit more. I'm really excited to play with these like silver tones. I wanted to do a look with that today, but I think most of the reviews that I've seen have used those and I didn't want it to be like too much. I wanted to give you something a little bit different, even though this is really similar to the look that Tati did in her review video. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I'm very excited to see what else she comes out with next. I can see this being just used so much for the holiday season, especially in the fall time. Just these tones are everything, so I think it was the perfect time to release this palette. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the new Tati Textured Neutrals palette. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you think about this. The only cons for me was the matte shades were hard to blend, and then the glitters do have a little bit of fallout, but you could definitely prevent those with just being really careful. And I forgot to mention with those glitter shades, you just have to barely press them onto the lid. Don't get too much on your finger, because then that's gonna cause fallout. I feel like if you're careful, strategically press with your finger very lightly all over, then that will be the less fallout you get, if that makes sense. So that's my thoughts rambled up here. I didn't want this video to be too long, so I hope it was helpful to you. Let me know if you guys will be picking up this palette, if you guys did pick up this palette. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye guys.